Today, we are going to be looking at the new OpenClaw update. So you can see there was a brand new update from OpenClaw yesterday, and they've announced 4 new things. Number 1 is Feishu and Lark. So this is the first Chinese chat agent that you can actually use with OpenClaw. Number 2, it's faster, so we can actually build itself faster. There's more security hardening and also a QMD Memory Plugin. So you can see the full list of updates and change logs right here. This is a free new update, updated via OpenClaw. It was literally released 3 hours ago, so it is brand new. All right, so let's talk about what this actually means, what are the updates, etc. So the new features, number 1, Feishu and Lark plugin. So it's added integration with Feishu, Chinese workplace communication platform, also known as Lark internationally. You've also got the agent's dashboard now. So this is a new web UI for managing agent files, tools, skills, AI models, communication channels, and scheduled tasks. You got QMD for backend memory. Basically, this is an optional new memory system for workspace context, which basically helps the AI remember information across conversations. And then also we have the health check skill. So this is a new security monitoring tool to audit the OpenClaw setup. We have default sub agent thinking level. So you can now configure how much internal reasoning sub agents do. And you've got documentation improvements as well. So for example, like Chinese translations, better guides, navigation updates, etc. Right? So you can see some of the security updates right here that have been added to OpenClaw. Some of the main ones that you probably want to look at is the agent's dashboard. That sounds quite interesting. You've got sub-agent, and some people, I guess, watching this may be watching from China or use Feishu, etc. So we're going to be testing it out and seeing how it performs. All right, so the way that I'm going to get started with this is just because I know how temperamental Molebot is, I'm actually going to uninstall it first, and then we'll reinstall it using the new update. So let's get started with this. We've actually got uninstall instructions inside the AI Profit Boarding, link in the comments description. And then if you go to the classroom, and then from there, you can go to the SOP updates. And then from there, you can get all the latest documentation. So I'm just going to remove this, as you can see. All right, so that's fully removed. And then we're going to set this up again. So if we go to OpenClaw right here, open this up, and we're going to start opening this up, right? So we're just going to clone it again and then get started from there. By the way, if you're wondering, like, okay, is there a more secure way to set this up? What you can actually do is you can use something like Molt Worker. I've got lots of training inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So we're going to start running this now. We have to run through the quick start. I'm going to go with OpenAI Codex OAuth login. If you have any questions whilst you're watching live, feel free to ask. One interesting thing that I've actually stopped doing now is I've stopped using it with Telegram because it just seems to break all the time. Whereas if I just use the native UI, it seems to be a bit more reliable. Although honestly, this stuff breaks pretty easily. And obviously it is a free open source AI agent, so I get it. And there we go. So I said, hey, and then you can see it's replying right here. So it says, let's lock in the basics, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I've uninstalled it and removed the previous install, so that's why it doesn't have any memory. And you can see that we've got the full update right here. And then you can configure it with, for example, Telegram. You've got the channel section here. You've got the instances. We have the sessions and everything else. So that is all set up right now. One thing that I will do for you is I'm going to take this like so. We'll go from there. All right. And now we've got OpenClaw control set up, as you can see. If you do uninstall it, one thing to do before you uninstall is you can actually export the memory MD file from the previous installation and then install it on the new one. There are simpler ways to update, but just because I'm doing this on a live stream, I need it to work like right now. And I can't mess around for 30 minutes messing around with this on a live stream. So I just uninstall it and then reinstall the new version instead to make it easier. What we got here. So does OpenClaw perform the same way that the newly released Codex by OpenAI, or do they have different use cases? They have different use cases, actually, to be fair. So when you're using something like, for example, OpenClaw, this is basically like a 24/7 personal assistant, right? Whereas if you use something like Codex OS, which is a new update from ChatGPT and OpenAI, this is more like an IDE or a codex that runs locally. Now, this is specifically for building stuff, right? So for example, coding apps, games, websites. Whereas if you're using something like OpenClaw, this is more like a personal assistant that can automate tasks for you. Also, Codex is not running 24/7, whereas, for example, OpenClaw is. The other thing that I want to test here is we are going to try something now. And open up terminal. I'm going to try to install Skillboss. If you don't know what Skillboss is, essentially what this is a website where you can install skills. For example, I've installed this to Claude Code, and you can basically create images, videos, podcasts, etc. from one single skill. So we're going to test this out now directly with OpenClaw, and it says open the OpenClaw chat window, drag the zip into the chat, which we'll do now. So we've got the chat here. We'll grab the zip file. Here's the zip file. Let's drag that in. Wilty says, thanks, Julian. Always happy to help. Drax says, what system mini requirements would you recommend to begin using this? I know Mac minis are being used, but what configuration can you recommend? Any old laptop is fine. You don't need like a... Bear in mind, like you can just set this up on an old device. Once you've got it running in your terminal, then it's running in the cloud. You don't need to get a Mac mini or anything like that, right? I know a lot of people who have got a Mac mini, but you don't need it. What else we got here? Redia says, OpenClaw setup is confusing. It can be sometimes, but you've seen how quick and easy I managed to set up today. So it says done, Skillboss is installed into the OpenClaw skills directory. Let's test it out now. So I'm going to say, okay, create an image using Skillboss. Let's see if that works. How do I know the real Julian Goldie hasn't been replaced by a Clawbot doppelganger? It could happen in the future. Never know. And it says, sure, I can generate it with Skillboss, but I need the prompt. So I'm going to say, okay, create a picture of a cat at a picnic. By the way, if you're watching this and you're wondering, okay, like how do I set up Maltbot or Clawbot or OpenClaw, which are all the same thing? How do I set them up in a way that's more secure? The most secure way that I've seen set up is with Malt Worker. It runs via Cloudflare, which protects half the internet. It also runs siloed away, and you have to approve any logins before people go in. And also it has to get an email verification code before it can log in as well. So you approve any logins and it's siloed away before people can log in here. Now you can see we've installed Skillboss, which can deploy static sites, send emails, and can do chat, image, text-to-speech, and video and podcasts, right? So that's how you can install Skillboss. And I've also set this up, for example, inside other tools like Claude Code. It's a really powerful way to just connect all these APIs, but you just have one single one, which is Skillboss itself and the website and the login, which I think is more secure than giving your API keys to Claude Bot directly. Where did you get agent skills? Do you prefer a specific website or GitHub open source? I prefer to honestly create my own, but you can see that we actually tested out Skillboss today, which I think is pretty cool so far. It's impressed me so far. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all the details from today on the latest updates, go inside the AI Profit Boardroom, go to SAP updates, and then you'll see the details on the new OpenClaw update. Plus, we have a 3-hour course on how to use OpenClaw. Inside the community, you can post any questions you have, get help, get support whenever you need it, and also share your wins. So you can see, for example, Henry smashed his custom GPT and really crushed it. We've got a daily accountability group in there, and you can see all the people winning with this stuff, right, and sharing what they're working on. So it's a pretty amazing community. You can also jump on 4 weekly coaching calls. So you can jump on these coaching calls and get help and support whenever you need them. And then also inside the classroom here, we have a 5-week AI automation course that takes you from beginner to expert in 5 weeks, plus teaches you how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. Additionally, you can learn, for example, all of our latest Clawbot and MemoBot training, as you can see here, along with OpenClaw and the new update from today. Let me just update this. And you also get all my best playbooks. So if you want to learn, for example, how we create X automations, how we create AI avatar videos, etc., you can get all of this inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. By the way, you can see an example of the image created with Skillboss right here.